Let's talk about the one woman who's been making a lot of waves in the media. So, some 4 years back, she came out to tell the whole world, I'm HIV positive, and I want to chat a very good cause. Help bring or minimize stigmatization in Ghana, on the African continent, generally in the world. 4 years down the line, she tells you and I she's HIV negative. Now, I had a very interesting conversation with her, and here's what you need to know about that conversation. She's made more revelations, yes, but right after the conversation with her, the Ghana AIDS Commission has whisked her away to wherever. I'm not sure if it's to the offices, but we'll follow on that and let you know what happened. You also recall that the Ghana AIDS Commission had come out with a strong-worded statement on their thoughts about Joyce's recent revelations. But here's what her ex-husband also thinks about her revelations.
How do you respond to that?
I will say it's a false statement.
Why?
Because we have both lived together. We have a daughter in actual sense, and we had to go through the PMTCT, Prevention of Mother to Child Transmission of HIV process before we were able to give birth to the girl, and she is actually negative. So she's not a stranger to me. I know perfectly and vividly that she is positive.
How long were you together?
We have been together for the past 3 years. In actual sense, when I met her, you know, because we've all created acquaintance, we all knew we were HIV positive as a result of the fact that my friend, I had a discussion with her that she was having difficulties in going to the hospital and going through the long queue. I got to know that she was HIV positive. And then that is how come I also came in and told her that, look, I could help you by, showing you somebody who could give you, a quick service when you go to the hospital without you going through the long queue. So that is how come we got to know of our status. And then from there, we pick it up from there. We started knowing each other. She started telling me her story. I started telling her my story, and then that was it. When it comes to evidence, then I saw evidence.
Like?
The results, lab results, were shown to me, which shows that she was positive.
At where?
The lab results was at the Kolibus Central Lab.
What year was that?
I think since it was it 2007? That was what I was scripted. In actual sense, the lab result was done when she was pregnant with her first son, and that was in 2007. Yeah, the HIV medications are not a straitjacket medication to be given to everybody. Based on your type, then after a series of lab tests is being done, then they will know which type of medication to be given to you. So yes, she was taking her medications, I was taking my medications, but we were together. So at times I do call her, it's time for you to take your medication, so come on, get up and go and take your medication. Yeah, so I'm very, very much aware of the fact that she is taking the medication.
Do you see her taking it physically?
Of course, yes, I see her taking medication physically. Yes.
Can you tell the viewers exactly why she did all this? The reason why she did all this?
Yeah. She had a good intention, trying to take away the stigma which was actually taunting the child as well as herself. But I think the process that she used is what is actually making the whole thing wrong. If she's able to actually look at it in a different way, there are counselors, people who can tell you and advise you on how to go about it. I don't know actually who actually is advising her and who is actually giving her this sort of information as to how to go about it. But I feel that is not the way she's supposed to go about it. If she's able to take it in a different way, a different perspective, it is actually going to make an impact. People are actually going to see what exactly she is trying to put across to the public. And then people will rather support her rather than what is actually happening now, where people are taking it into a negative thing altogether.
Apart from her reasons, I mean, you as a husband or former husband, do you think is there any reason why she came up with this thing apart from what she's telling the general public? Maybe there be something.
I don't think I have actually any other for me, because actually the very first day she told me about this issue, I asked her what is actually the reason why you want to do this, because it is actually going to be a serious case looking at what exactly you are trying to put across to the media. What she told me was that she is actually looking forward to having the children by her side, and she's not getting that opportunity because of how the public are stigmatizing the children. The firstborn, in actual sense, I feel for the boy, because for the boy to say that because of what the children are saying, the friends are saying he will not go to school, it's actually a big blow, and I know it will be a big blow for the mother.
Okay. Yeah. If you're able to speak to her right now, what advice will you give her?
My advice to her.
I am not too sure if Joyce would want any piece of advice from her ex-husband, Benjamin Nate, who you heard from in the sound bite or sound clip past. But she has been reacting to some of the issues that Benjamin has raised, and she's made some more revelations. She's taken ARVs before. What for? I don't know. We'll find out. I guess we'll find out in the sound clip. And then she tells me also that you remember that docu where Joyce is seen pregnant, heavily pregnant, and in an interview, and we all thought that perhaps that was her second child. She says it's a lie. These and many more in the upcoming clip right now. Joyce, you had your ex-husband.
Yeah, I
What
did.
do you have to say to that?
It's quite interesting. Yeah, that he could do that. I mean, he is my ex-husband. If now that he's my ex, if anyone asks me what I know about him concerning his health status, there is no way I could do that, because I don't have the right to do that. No matter what his health status is, whether HIV or whatever it is, I can't do that.
Let's go through some of the issues he spoke about. According to him, before you had your daughter, you had to go through, before you had your son, you had to go through testing, and that's where he first saw your test results.
No, I don't think my son, my first child is a boy, and I had that boy before meeting my ex-husband.
Did you ever go through any testing while you were with him, with the child?
When I was still with my ex-husband, like going through HIV testing, no.
Did you ever practice mother-child transmission prevention?
No.
You didn't. But you realize that according to...
Yeah, he mentioned PMTCT. Yeah. It's supposed to be part of the Ghana AIDS Commission.
That we know, but according to him, it's only because
People who go through PMTCT are people who are living with HIV. And there are a lot of cases where mothers who are HIV positive have gone through PMTCT and they've had their babies free from HIV.
That's true. My question is,
what I mean is,
if you didn't have HIV, why would your ex-husband say that you practice PMTC while you hatched your child?
How is it practiced? How is PMTCT practiced? Can you tell me?
In other words, breastfeeding was not part of it.
Breastfeeding is part of PMTCT. If you are a person living with HIV and you have a baby, that doesn't mean you can't breastfeed. There are a lot of mothers who go through PMTCT breastfeeding and their baby.
But you took precaution, basically.
You are trying to indirectly tell me that I'm HIV positive and I took precaution.
No. Your ex-husband, in the video we listened to, made mention of the fact that, as part of proof that indeed you were lying about lying.
That is,
you practiced PMTC when you had your daughter.
I'm asking, how is PMTCT practiced? It is practiced by people living with HIV. And it's not any strange practice. If you are HIV infected and you are pregnant, you go through that. You are given HIV medication. The medication protects the baby from the womb. Therefore, if you're a mother with HIV, you can still have your baby without HIV. That is what we call PMTCT. And it is only people with HIV who practice PMTCT. And I'm saying that I don't have HIV. He is somewhere saying
and so your ex-husband is lying about that?
Yes.
Great. Now let's talk about how you met. From what he's told us, he's mentioned of a very elaborate story of how you met.
He did. Naplas, Ghana, like in my previous stories, is still the same thing I've been saying over and over again. Because when I was ejected from my house, the only place I could find solace was with the people living with HIV. I was going there. That was where I met him. I mean, I didn't really...
So that bit of the story is true, that indeed...
I didn't really meet him in the office of people living with HIV, but there was an office that is very close to the Naplas office. And that office, the one who is in charge, happens to be my ex-husband's friend. So people used to go there a lot. And I also went there. That is where I met him. Now,
so you indeed met your husband close to an office?
Yeah, I did.
Close to the Naplas office. Is your ex-husband HIV positive?
He has just said he is. So take what he said, not me.
While you were together, did you have knowledge of this?
I did.
That he had said that, so you're confirming, really?
I am, because he has said it. If he hadn't said it, I wouldn't have been able to say it.
I see. I'm concerned. Okay, so then you knew that your husband, your now ex-husband, was HIV positive.
Yes.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with falling in love with him and then marrying him and going ahead to have children. But according to him, it was a bit easier for the two of you because he knew you were too.
Easier in what way?
Easier for the two of you to come together because he knew both of you were HIV positive.
He is saying he has disclosed his status and he has no right to say what he doesn't know about me. I don't have HIV.
You had come out openly before, back then.
That was the story. And now the story has changed.
To disclose your status. No, you have also made your status public already. First, you were positive, now you're negative. So your status is out there in the open already. And so let's forget about the secrecy of the status.
What I mean is that which one is the status? You said it is out there now, so which one? Are you talking about the negative or the positive one?
No, the question I asked is that your husband, you said you knew indeed that what he has told us that he's HIV positive is true. You're confirming. And I'm asking, according to him, the only reason your relationship moved on and ended up in marriage was because he also had knowledge that indeed you were HIV positive. Did you lie to him then?
I didn't lie to him.
So what's the story? I'm trying to add it all up.
My dear, there are a lot to it than what we are hearing. You know, he's not even in Ghana.
I agree.
Okay. You don't know why he's where he is now.
Now let's let's try and understand that bit of the story. The two of you, according to your husband, well, you met through a friend, and you have explained that indeed it was an office close to the NAP office.
Is there anything wrong marrying somebody who is HIV positive?
Honey, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, the question I asked, which you have still not answered, is the fact that for your husband, the only reason that your relationship took a high scale, it went up a notch, was because then he had knowledge that you were HIV positive, and that's why he's finding it difficult to believe that you're HIV negative now.
So you are saying the only reason why we got married was because he claims he's positive, and I am also
unfortunately
positive, right?
I didn't say that, but in the video we had, he mentioned of the fact that you were having challenges going for your ARVs, and
challenges,
and from what he said, he insinuated that you had challenges going for your ARVs, and he had a friend with an NGO with persons with HIV and AIDS, and that's how the two of you met. He told you he was going to help you.
Okay, I think if you get the opportunity to speak with him, I don't think you interviewed him. If you get the opportunity to speak with him, ask him whether when he met me I was taking any medication. And ask him whether I have given him anything that shows that I have HIV.
I see. I reckon also that you haven't managed to answer the question I've been asking you over the past few minutes, but we'll move away from that. According to Reverend Azuma, indeed, you guys have shared medication in the past. You have left your ARVs at home, and he's giving you his, and you know, vice versa.
And that is where I find it very difficult to believe them, because they call themselves ambassadors of HIV.
Okay.
And they know perfectly well that HIV have different types, and no one has the right to share HIV medications with their partners. Whether the person is your husband, your friend, we all have different ones. So even if I am HIV positive, I'm taking HIV medication. Maybe I have HIV-1 and you have HIV-2. So if you left your medication at home, you left your HIV-2 medication at home, you can't take my HIV-1 medication. So they should rather even encourage people who are shying away from hospital. There are people who will not come to the hospital, but if they know somebody who has HIV, they buy their drugs.
So for you, it's impossible that you and Reverend Azuma exchange medicines.
Which never happened.
Which is very fine.
Yeah.
Let's look at this whole situation, and you know, ARVs and how the NAP plus has come out to say that this could actually be, you know, some psychological effects the ARVs you have taken over time is had on you.
Meaning I'm not normal.
Normal wouldn't be the word. Let's try anormal. But the point is, have you ever taken ARVs before?
Yes, I have.
You have. Why are you aware that ARVs could have, you know, effects on, you know,
My dear, I've read a lot. I mean, I told you since I moved out of, I was ejected out of where I used to live to Naplas, Ghana. That was where I had the chance to attend workshops to learn more. I have read more, a lot on ARVs, so I know about it. You do know
about the HIV
I know sometimes, yeah, it causes mental problems. Yes, but that doesn't mean
that is what they have said could be happening to you.
Okay.
What do you have to say to that? What would be your response to it?
Do they have any medical proof? Because the only way you can detect if someone has a mental problem is by examination. No one has examined my head.
Right. So let's talk about your husband again.
Okay.
Let us come back to the ARVs. Now, I'm told that your husband is an illegal resident in London, and he feels that your comments about him will expose him to authorities. What would be your reaction to that?
Illegal.
Is he illegal? Because I remember you mentioned something about, you know.
For now, I can't tell, because people who are there who have documents are not illegal.
So he's not an illegal.
For now, I can't tell if.
So your husband is also telling some lies. Your ex-husband is telling some lies.
About what?
About being an illegal
Is he
resident.
the one
and
who
your comments,
issued this?
Your comments would... it's a part of the video. And we didn't listen to the full length of the video. Right. And that your comments could have effects on his staying. And
okay. And I don't think he's the only one who is living there illegally. Yeah, there are a lot of things. If I want to talk about everything that has transpired between me and my ex-husband, I don't think we have the time.
Did you have a sour breakup?
A lot of things went on, my dear. At a point, we had challenges, and he started telling me that he wanted me not to do this thing, talking about HIV, that I'm HIV, blah, blah, blah. It has affected him. His friends don't visit him, and he's going through stigma and a whole lot. So at a point, he was suggesting we move out of Ghana. And I always told him that no, running away from problems is not the best. And I love Ghana so much. So if I'm giving visa to travel, and I'm giving like a 3 months duration to stay there, I can't exceed. If I'm giving 1 week, I can't exceed. So that is how my life has been. And unless I've been given permit to live abroad, well, I can't just go there to live as an illegal person. So I told him that no matter how difficult things are, let's remain here and take care of the kids. But a lot of challenges came up because of the programs I did. Because of you, I'm like this. Because of you, I'm like that. Because of you, I'm like this. And so I had an invitation, and he became part of it. And that's how come he didn't come back to Ghana.
But I thought your husband was supportive of you. I've seen docus where, you know, we've seen the entire family together. Seeing
people together means they are supporting each other, right?
So you put up a picture for us.
Everybody, people who have challenges with their marriage will not come publicly to say, I have this with my husband, and my husband does this to me. Come on. People have issues. When you haven't heard from somebody, you think yours is worse. And I'm not in a position, and I'm not ready to reveal everything I was going through with my marriage. That I don't want to talk about.
And that's fine by me. Let's talk about the children. Are they here in the country?
They are.
So all of these things happening, I mean, you've been huge advocates when it comes to stigmatization and all that. Now that's happening. How do you think the rolling ball effect would be on the children? More stigma, don't you think?
More stigma? Why stigma?
Your mother was the one who lied to the entire country.
My mother?
I mean, that's
the kids. So there will be stigma on them concerning what? Like a stigma of a liar, a lying mother. Is that the stigma? Or you are talking of a stigma of an HIV positive mother?
No.
A lying mother? No. When they grow up and they see the things I've done for Ghana, they will know that our mother did a lot for this nation.
So, does it make it okay because the result was good that you lied to the entire country, all those who came out to support you?
You will bear with me that it was positive. The result was so positive. So
doesn't make your lie okay.
Lie is a lie. It doesn't make it okay. That is why I always say, I am sorry.
Will you teach your children that?
I wouldn't teach them to lie. But circumstances made me do what I did. I don't think if I had kept quiet with this HIV issue, I would have gotten it likely. For instance, I was living in Bubuashi. People pointed fingers at me. You are HIV positive. You are HIV positive. Let's say, for instance, if truly I was HIV positive and I came out the way I did, don't you think I was compelled by society to do what I did? Maybe I didn't do it willingly, but I did it in a way that, well, if this is a situation, then let me do it to save people. Look at it from that angle. But this is a situation, people were pointing fingers at me. Meanwhile, I wasn't infected. There was no way I would have been able to go anywhere to defend myself. My mother suggested to me that the situation at hand, because of the situation at hand, I should move from Accra and hide in a village.
We know that story quite well. Now, you're the young lady who once told the entire country, better yet, the entire world, that you were HIV positive. And now you want us to believe that you're HIV negative. Would you take a test if we asked you to?
Will you agree to take a test if I ask you to declare to everybody that you are not in my situation, you have not lied to the public. But can anyone be compelled to do an HIV test?
If you're not in a situation as Dzidzor is, you can't be.
Okay.
But the question I'm asking is, to make your story authentic, make it better than better than just a lie.
AIDS Commission promised.
Would you test? Would you go through a test?
On one condition.
What condition?
The Ghana AIDS Commission, when they interviewed us, okay, we were interviewed individually, so I can't say us. When I was interviewed, I was made to believe that because of challenges around stigma, I will be protected. I have a human rights person who will protect me if I have issues. I have a clinical psychologist who will help me in case I'm having challenges dealing with stigma because I'm coming out publicly. And then along the line, you use me and dump me. And now I'm saying I don't have HIV, and you are compelling me to say, to do a test to prove that I have HIV. If it comes out positive, who is going to protect my image?
I don't get you.
Wait, no.
I don't get you. Wait, Joyce, I don't get you.
Did they do what they
Forget about the AIDS Commission.
Okay.
This is about the Ghanaian people who supported you.
Who brought me out to the limelight?
This is about the Ghanaian people.
Out? Listen, we have been acting all this while. People say I'm acting, some say I'm crazy, some say I am mad. But the video the Ghana AIDS Commission shot, the documentary that they shot of me, you realize when Michael Katahina interviewed me, I was pregnant. That wasn't a pregnancy, it was fake. We had to put something in there. We were all acting.
Interesting. No, that's new.
Ghana AIDS Commission.
You were not pregnant?
Yeah, we're acting. I'm also acting. We are all acting. I wasn't pregnant.
Your point being, is that to say that the Ghana AIDS Commission is aware of your original status of being negative?
For that, I'm telling them that they don't want to believe.
No, from the beginning.
So I want to let the public know that we can still act to reduce stigma. If they are able to let me act as a pregnant woman, now my billboard with the, how do you call it, the posters that are all over the country, my posters with the pregnancy, let's eliminate.
It's all fake.
It's fake. I wasn't pregnant. I had given birth.
Is it part of the contract, or was it the contract that you didn't necessarily have to have HIV to sign it?
The contract didn't really state that you should be positive.
Was it prerequisite for you to be HIV before you become a heart-to-heart ambassador?
They didn't tell us that.
They didn't tell you that. Did you disclose this to them? That, look, I'm not HIV positive, but I want to help.
If I did that, I don't think they would have used me.
Okay. Why did you have to fake your pregnancy?
Because we were acting to educate the public.
Interesting. Interesting. And so now you feel that it's a good time to come out and say that, well, I'm not HIV positive. Don't you owe it to the Ghanaian people, you know, after all, so many years, 2 years of being a heart-to-heart ambassador?
No.
How many years?
I was heart-to-heart ambassador for less than a year, and my contract was terminated. But even when it was, I was still working.
You were still working,
yes.
Of course. I remember some of the works you have done. But after all that, you know, coming into the faces of the Ghanaian people, being in our face and telling us that indeed you were HIV positive, and I'm giving you a lot of hope, and now you're taking all of the hope back, and you think it's okay to tell us you're sorry. You don't think you owe us, you know, that little bit where I don't even know what to believe now about
what I owe Ghanaians is an apology. But in all this, people who have really benefited from it, could you believe that people who never thought?
You still haven't told me what condition you would give in order to take a test for the Ghanaian people you have lied to all through the years.
When I started working, I was always going from school to school.
Dzidzor, would you take the test because of the peculiar situation you were in?
I have to build my answer. You've asked me a question. The first time KSM interviewed me, I didn't show my face. The only time I showed my face publicly was when Ghana AIDS Commission came on board. Assuming we all agreed, let's assume that I agreed with the AIDS Commission that though I'm negative, I'm going to pose as a positive person for the rest of my life, but you protect my image. And now they have decided to leave me after using me for the documentary, the disclosure and all that. And there's no protection, no psychological help. You think I will go on with that?
You need psychological help.
Do you know what I'm going through?
And two, you think that it shouldn't have dumped you that way. So is this payback?
It's not payback.
It's not.
Do you know I didn't even plan doing this involving AIDS Commission? I was just coming out to let the public know who I am and to render an apology.
You sound bitter though, for someone who is not doing a payback. You're a bit bitter about the HIV and the AIDS Commission.
I mean, it's 2 years not too long to pay back. When I received the termination letter, I wept. Sometimes I sleep, and in my sleep, I cry and I wake up, and my ex-husband has to calm me down.
Do you know that's part of the side effects of ARVs?
The termination of the letter?
No. Your sleep and waking up like that to cry and all that.
If a guy dumps you, sometimes you go through that. It's not ARV issue.
Honey, it's never happened.
Come on, have you been heartbroken before?
I have, but it's never happened.
Then you haven't fallen in love before.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. You're telling me, but let's stick with the ARVs. We'll talk about love later. but seriously though, you do realize that this could be translators is that you're a bitter contractor, for lack of a better word, and now you're coming out to soil the image of the AIDS Commission and all that.
If you really, if you read what I put in on Daily Guide, you realize I didn't even mention AIDS Commission.
But you are now. This is my platform, and you are now.
It's because now the media has gone to them to hear their side of the story, and they are in the picture now. That wasn't the plan.
Joyce, I'm going to ask you the question again.
Okay.
For the sake of all the millions of Ghanaians you lied to, or really, for the many Ghanaians right now, we're finding it difficult to believe one thing. Would you take the test?
I will if I'm ready.
If you're ready.
I can take the test.
If you're ready.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Joyce.
You're welcome.
And I still don't know what to believe. But share your thoughts with me on that conversation on our social media platforms. Join News on TV, on Facebook. Kemini Nyamani Amana on Facebook as well. I tweet at Kemini. I'll be absolutely thrilled if you share those thoughts you're thinking now with me. But while you do that, I'll take a quick break. When I come back, we'll talk about other issues. We'll deal a bit with ARVs and the kind of side effects they could have on users. We'll also talk about whether or not we'll find out from our court correspondent what's happened with a case between the 12 labor unions and government, which will be heard today. In fact, it's hearing is already taking place today. We'll get into those conversations when I come back. Don't go away.